Hi, my name is Edward, and as a multi-sports academy coach, my philosophy is to create whole athletes who excel on and off the field. I am a supporter of each an individual reaching their individual potential through training that is age-specific and based on the long-term athlete development model. My philosophy focuses largely on overall development physically, mentally, and emotionally, which is basically holistic development through fun games such as speed drills, strength training, and endurance games. I create a positive atmosphere where players learn from errors, build self-confidence, and acquire important life skills such as teamwork and resilience. By blending scientific concepts with creativity and encouragement, I plan to create a lifelong passion for physical activity and assist athletes in achieving success on and off the field. Ultimately, I want to be part of build I want to be part of their journey in building confidence and competent and well-rounded individuals. My approach to coaching these pupils athletes would largely be based on the two concepts of early sampling and deliberate play. Firstly, the promotion of early sampling for these athletes would categorize them under trajectories 1 and 2 of the development model of sports participation, also known as the DMSP. Yep. Early sampling would allow for athletes to involve themselves in a wide variety of sports, promoting development of more substantial amount of essential motor skills. And early sampling, in comparison to other approaches like early specialization, significantly reduces the risk of athletes burnout and overuse injuries, which is essential for these young kids. Secondly, promoting deliberate play, which involves an informal form of participation in sports games while still engaged in a structure that is carefully weighed and considered for maximum enjoyment and skill development. For example, games of one-on-one with modified rules of having only a maximum of 3 dribbles per possession to elevate the element of fun while promoting cognitive stimulation for athletes as they dribble, as they need to be wise with their dribbles during a basketball one-on-one game. Hence, encouraging athlete-led activities which promotes decision-making and creativity. Next up, I'll be talking about how I would manage individuals in my session and in the academy. So in my experience with development athletes, two of the most prevalent problems that repeatedly occur are firstly disengagement and violence under the general category of misbehavior. I have created certain strategies to address these issues, establishing a positive and constructive learning situation for all the athletes that I coach. Disengagement is one of the biggest issues that can ruin an athlete's progress and upset team stability. And in order to fight this, I use a three-step solution. First, I work on good planning and anticipatory tactics by scheduling each session thoroughly and foreseeing where athletes are likely to disengage. I am able to act ahead of time and keep them engaged throughout the training process. The pre-planning enables me to adjust in the moment and keep athletes engaged. Secondly, I focus on the utmost challenge of tasks by regression and progression methods to ensure that the difficulty level for every athlete is optimal and they're not too challenged or they're not too oh, this is too easy, yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, this method ensures that all the athletes are challenged as per their ability. To those that are finding it more difficult with a specific skill drill, I reduce the difficulty to give them more confidence. And for those athletes who are faster learners who learn a skill easily, I add complexity to sustain their interest and challenge. Finally, I reduce downtime and setup time within my sessions to you know include this includes strategic planning for optimal use of equipment where feasible, working with sponsor coaches like academy coaches, for example, to minimize downtime between drills. So, for example, I'll be giving out the instructions, then the other coach will be setting up for the next activity, making use of time. By staying engaged and working, I reduce the risk of disengagement and ensure the high energy levels and concentration throughout the session. Next up will be violence. Though a less prevalent problem, is quite a legitimate one where it must be addressed through prevention and response measures. On the prevention side, I place a lot of stress on establishing positive relationships between my athletes, all of my athletes, by finding out about them as individuals, build an environment of respect that will naturally prevent violent behavior. Second, I attempt to model myself as a positive role model, showing them behaviors and attitudes that I expect from my athletes. This entails being respectful, managing frustration in a constructive fashion, and encouraging fair play in every scenario. In case of violence breakouts, I have coping strategies in place. I, for example, apply punitive measures such as extra drills as a penalty for violent acts. However, I emphasize on not benching players and taking them out from games, you know, because this denies them of the development experience. Rather, I use these situations as learning opportunities to employ tutorial techniques to discuss with the athletes why what they did wasn't appropriate and how to act differently in the future as better sportsmen. It instructs athletes in for the importance of learning what's right, what's wrong, and the error of their actions, so that they can to be learn to have more self-control. So next up, I'll be talking about the underlying team issues that I might face alongside strategies I will use to manage those issues. First, Firstly, task cohesion or the team's ability to efficiently effectively work together towards a shared goal is essential for a team's uh, success in a team. But however, teams that do not succeed with their work has all sorts of problems that will crop up. So, for example, players will begin to blame each other for not achieving goals. So, like group blaming, team productivity and morale will be at an all-time low, and stress levels among team members will heighten. To counteract such issues and build task cohesion, I have a three-step method too. First, I use something called group goal setting with all the athletes, which includes in the process of setting clear, measurable team goals. The shared process creates a common vision and enhances personal commitment to team goals. Secondly, I have regular meetings with feedback sessions. So the regular team meetings are venues to track progress, solve problems, offer constructive feedback so that everyone on the team is kept aligned and motivated. Finally, I include stress management strategies in our training regimen through through the teaching and practice of these techniques like deep breathing, visualization, stress management techniques. I assist players in managing pressure and staying focused on the team objectives. Equally and significantly is social cohesion or the relationship between people in a team. Low social cohesion are usually can be caused by and result in lack of respect between the team members, communication breakdown, and avoiding conflict instead of resolving conflict positively. To achieve social cohesion, I use a number of measures. I organize frequent team bonding sessions outside practice to establish a relationship among the team members. So, for example, speaking from personal experience as a track captain in RP, um, I will hold, occasional team bonding sessions like chalets, team barbecues, to just get everyone off running and just bond with each other to understand more about each other. These could these other things could be like team dinners, game nights, or community service activities, VIA things, which allow the athletes to bond on a personal level outside their athletic interactions. I also collaborate with the team to establish a strong team identity through development of team cheers. Uh, we create jerseys together, like windbreakers also, because RP they decided to scrap the windbreaker thing, but we made our own. We're happy. This helps to foster sense of belonging and unity that goes beyond individual differences. Apart from apart from that, I make sure that we are group there are well-defined group objectives that are discussed often as a group, not only for work, but also social reasons. These can be objectives such as a better team communication or help when facing problems. By applying these strategies, I developed an integrated model to address both task and social dimensions of team cohesion. Not only is team performance enhanced with this integrated model, but also positive youth development for each and individual athlete that I coach. In this case of multi-sport academy, these strategies are especially useful when they can be potentially transferred across sports and different age levels. This team this team management philosophy is a great match for the academy's positive youth development philosophy, which ensures that not only we are creating good players, we're also creating good people, good sportsmen that uh, know how to conduct themselves on and off the field. And by increasing this social and task and social cohesion, we have a setting in which athletes can grow as individuals with not only better athletic abilities, but better social and emotional abilities too. So this is my speed activity, which is a 20-meter U-turn sprint race designed to develop an athlete's capacity to perform a pivot at maximum speed with physical, cognitive, and affective elements of development. The exercise is where the athletes, the players sprint to a cone at the 10-meter mark, then do a pivot, which the coaching cues are listed there, and and will turn back to the start, the sprint to the start. That's where they finish. There's a work time ratio of, there's a total duration of about 30 minutes, uh, repetitions of about uh, 6 to 10, a work rest ratio of 1 to 10, targeting maximum development in speed through enough recovery. This drill is appropriate for this age consistent with the emerging coordination and concentration span of adolescent players. Cognitively, it improves decision-making and spatial awareness. Physically, it improves speed, agility, and balance. Psychosocially, it encourages motivation, self-confidence, and healthy peer interactions through the friendly, race and competition. Psychologically, physiologically, the training recruits neural firing and motor function with a focus of mainly on the ATP-PC system to develop speed and power. It is aligned with major training principles of specificity, progressive overload, and recovery. It is aligned with the windows of trainability in the long-term athlete development model, the window of speed and acquisition of skill important during adolescence, by adding expert coaching words to translate. So like coaching cues like plant your ankle foot, stay low. I'm providing my best form of proficiency and mastery to make a comprehensive strategy of speed training, not only that develops athletic capacity, but it also assists in furthering the larger positive youth development objectives of the academy. All right, so next up will be my strength activity. As an integrative athlete development dedicated coach, I created a fundamental strength exercise for adolescent athletes within the multi-sport academy called the Stability Ball Stir the Pot drill. The drill entails focusing on core stability with an upper body balance test as it addresses physical, cognitive, and social development elements. The exercise is where the athletes pair up and take turns to be doing the movement and spotting. So the exerciser is in a plank position on a stability ball, turning his or her forearms to stir the pot. So like this, then the other direction. So they'll be doing the exercise for 3 sets and 15 repetitions, and 10 minutes, and for 10 minutes. The 10 minutes is the estimated duration of the activity, and a work rest ratio of 1 to 1, so a minimum of 1 minute rest. This exercise is developmentally appropriate, rehearsing basic strength required by young sport participants from the center of the body and moving outwards. So, it's always important to develop the core before moving to the other extremities of the body. Yeah. And improves proprioception and body awareness intellectually, stabilizes and strengthens core physically, and increases self-esteem and self-esteem psychosocially. Physiologically, It elevates the motor units activation and coordination that is for muscular endurance and muscular strength. The exercise follows the main training principles of specificity, progressive overload, and individual adaptability. The exercise also sits within the window of skill acquisition and strength development of the long-term athlete development model. By the use of targeted coaching cues such as engaged core, elbows in line with shoulders, and tight glutes, I try to maintain correct technique and skill execution to ensure a holistic approach not only maximizes athletes' athletic potential but also promotes positive youth development as a whole. So lastly would be my endurance activity, which I developed, which is more of a game actually. So it's called Captain's Ball for young athletes in the Multisports Academy. The game-based drill aims to enhance the ability of athletes to maintain moderate to high speed intensity in carrying out mental tasks and replicating the multilateral requirements of playing multiple sports. Captain's Ball involves teams passing a ball to their captain to gain points, encompassing running, passing, and catching. It encourages decision making and sportsmanship and enhances physical, intellectual, and social development. This activity is best suited for pupils pushing their budding teamwork and problem-solving abilities without being too taxing. Cognitively, spatial awareness and decision-making are developed. Physically, cardiovascular capacity, agility, and coordination are developed. Psychosocially, sportsmanship, self-esteem, and teamwork are developed through communication with the teammates. Physiologically, Captain Sport optimizes the use of aerobic energy systems, developing cardiovascular conditioning and neuromuscular adaptation. It also follows the essential principles of training, which are specificity, progressive overload, and individual adaptability. Notably, the activity is a natural fit for the window of trainability in the long-term activity development model, hitting the aerobic capacity of skill acquisition windows so important during puberty and developing speed. Ultimately, Captain's Ball showcases my capacity to create age-appropriate fun exercises, games to develop athletes in a well-rounded way. It provides physical abilities It develops physical abilities, enhances mental acuity, and develops key social skills, aligning with the Multisport Academy's model for a positive youth development to the team. All right, in short, to sum it all up, my coaching philosophy in a Multisports Academy is centered on comprehensive athlete development with active learning activities like endurance, strength, and speed training. These activities improve physical qualities, spur cerebral development, and augment social competence as promoted by the long-term athlete development model. And my philosophy is centered on building each and individual athlete's potential in a positive environment, cultivating skills that go beyond athletics through athletics and multi-sports, sorry. Yeah. And through the integration of individualized attention with team management techniques, I seek to produce well-rounded and confident individuals equipped with the essential skills, be it athletically, uh, or socially, or basically holistically. Make sure they're equipped holistically, uh, psychomotorly, physically, cognitively, and effectively for the success in their athletic life and in just real life in general. Yep. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Uh, Hope you enjoyed.